In the heart of a misty village stood an old ivy-covered house. It belonged to Grandma Radha, a quiet, kind widow known to live simply, too simply, some would say, for a woman whose husband once owned half the land around. Her grandsons, Arav and Kabir, had always found her strange. She never talked about the past, never spent much, and yet her small home never lacked anything. One winter evening, the boys were called back to the village. Grandma had passed away in her sleep. Among the few things she left behind was a locked trunk with a handwritten note. The truth lies in the 4 jars. Puzzled, the boys broke open the trunk. Inside were 4 dusty clay jars labeled Spend, Save, Share, Grow. Each jar had some coins, old documents, and faded slips of paper. At first they assumed it was some quirky game until they read what was inside each jar. The spend jar had faded grocery bills, each marked with exact amounts and dates, but the totals matched exactly with old land rent receipts found years ago. Every expense was tracked to the rupee. Arav whispered she was hiding her income. The save jar contained bank slips, all from different years, leading to a dormant bank account under a different name, one they'd never heard of. The amount in the account? Enough to buy the entire village twice over. In the share jar, they found letters, dozens of them, from people she had helped, farmers, widows, students, all thanking Radha ma'am for anonymous donations. She'd been secretly funding their lives for decades, but it was the grow jar that held the biggest surprise. Beneath a few coins was a yellowed property deed, signed by their grandfather, transferring land to Radha in case of his death. Land no one knew existed. Along with it, a letter. You always thought I was poor, but I had enough, more than enough. I chose to live simply, to teach by action. Money is not power, boys. Wisdom is. You'll find your inheritance not in what I leave behind, but in what I taught you to build. The land was untouched near the forest, now worth millions. But more than the wealth, the grandsons were stunned by the truth. Their grandma had been a silent architect of stability, charity, and growth, teaching them in the shadows. What seemed like a mystery of poverty had been a masterclass in control, planning, and legacy. And the jars, not just containers, they were her life's blueprint, and now theirs.